You are driving. You do not remember how you left the house. You do not remember locking the door, picking up your keys, walking to the car. Your hands are on the steering wheel. Your eyes look at the road, but inside there is a fog. You are moving through space, but you are not here. You come back for a second. You think, I am driving. Then again, you disappear into a stream of thoughts about work, about money, about someone who offended you 3 days ago. The body continues perfectly obedient while you are gone. This is your life. You call it being busy, being stressed, having a lot on your mind. I call it sleep. You imagine that you are awake because your eyes are open, because you can think, because you can answer when someone calls your name. But I tell you, in the sense that matters, you are barely present. You live as if you were walking inside a dream you have never questioned. You mistake the dream for yourself. Listen carefully. I am not here to comfort you. I am here to break something in you that must be broken before anything real can grow. You think you came to this teaching because you are spiritually interested, seeking growth, wanting to improve yourself. No. You are here because some part of you knows dimly that your life as it is not truly yours, that you are lived rather than living, that something runs you. I am that part of you speaking now from a height you do not yet remember. I speak as if I were I and you were you. But understand, I speak from the possibility of a higher you addressing the lower one that has taken over. Look at your day. See it without excuses. You wake up to an alarm. Already your first movement is resistance. You reach for the device before you are truly conscious. The blue light assaults your eyes. Messages, news, images flood you before you have even remembered that you exist. You surrender your mind before you have found it. You move through your morning on rails, bathroom, kitchen, coffee, clothes. You have done it so many times that the body no longer needs you. It performs like a well-trained animal. Meanwhile, your attention is scattered, planning, worrying, fantasizing, remembering. The body is in one place, the mind in another, the feelings in yet another. You call this normal. I call it fragmentation. At work, you speak, but you do not hear yourself. Words come out automatically. You nod, you agree, you disagree, you react. But inside, there is no one who has chosen. A tone in someone's voice, a glance, a phrase, and instantly a whole chain of inner reactions begins. Irritation, self-defense, resentment, self-justification. One button pushed, a whole mechanical program starts. You go home, you scroll. Face to device, eyes drenched in images that are not yours. Hours vanish. You do not even notice the vanishing. You say, I'm relaxing. You are not relaxing. You are fleeing the discomfort of feeling your own emptiness. Tell me, in all of this, where were you? Not the you that reacts, that thinks, that talks. Those function by themselves. I ask, where was the silent witness that sees all of it? Where was the one who can choose? From my side, I am indifferent to whether you accept. The teaching is not diminished if you refuse. The cosmos is not derailed by your choice. But for you, everything is at stake. You can turn away now, call this too harsh, too extreme, and too serious. You can return to your pleasant distractions, your familiar complaints. Sleep will welcome you back warmly. It always does. Or you can accept that you have heard something you were meant to hear. You can let these words disturb you, haunt you, follow you into your daily routines. You can begin quietly and without drama to work. If you choose to work, you will not be alone. There are others invisible to your present eyes who labor in the same direction, who support any authentic attempt at awakening wherever it arises. When you make a real effort, you step into their current. But understand, the decision must be made not once, but many times a day. Each time you remember and observe instead of reacting blindly, you choose. Each time you accept intentional suffering instead of fleeing, you choose. Each time you refuse to flatter your false personality, you choose. I have spoken, you have heard. Something in you has recognized its own reflection. Now, in the privacy of your own consciousness, where no one can see, you must answer, will you remain as you are, comfortably mechanical, dreaming you are awake? Or will you bear the weight of beginning to awaken here in this life, with this body, in these exact circumstances? Do not answer with words. Answer with your next moment of attention. Most of the time, that one is absent. This is what I mean when I say you are asleep. You think sleep is what happens at night. You think waking is what happens when the body opens its eyes. But there is another sleep, far more dangerous. In that sleep, your body walks, talks, works, loves, fights, but you are not there. You are a chain of conditioned reactions, imitating life. You say, that cannot be. I decide, I choose, I am myself. Let us examine this self you are so certain of. When you say I, whom do you mean? The one who wants to get up early in the morning to exercise. The one who, in the same body, turns off the alarm and says, just 10 more minutes and sleeps an hour. The one who promises never to shout again at your partner. The one who, a day later, explodes in rage because they said something you did not like. The one who says, from now on, I will be disciplined, I will save money, I will meditate. And the one who spends, wastes, forgets, and postpones. You speak as if there were one continuous I inside you. But if you watch honestly, you will see a crowd. One I wants comfort. Another I wants adventure. Another I wants security. Another dreams of escape. One I wants to be admired. Another secretly wants to disappear. One I believes in noble ideals. Another would sell them instantly for a small personal gain. They all call themselves I. They borrow the same name, but they are not the same. This is why you break promises to yourself. The I that promises is not the I that must carry it out. You feel this as inner conflict, as self-sabotage, as confusion. You say, I do not understand why I keep doing this to myself, because there is no single self in charge. There is no master in the house. The door is open, and different guests walk in and out, each announcing, I am the owner. This is the first humiliation you must accept if you wish to approach real work. You are not one. You are many, and most of these many are not worthy of governing your life. On top of this chaos, there is a mask. That mask also calls itself you. This mask is the personality you present to the world and to yourself. It is built from your parents' voices, from teachers' judgments, from culture, from what you think is acceptable, attractive, safe. It is built from fear and imitation. It has opinions, tastes, beliefs, stories. I am this kind of person. I like this. I dislike that. I always, I never. You have repeated these sentences so often that you mistake them for essence, but they are not you. They are armor. This armor protects you from certain pains, but it also blocks truth. It keeps you asleep. It prevents fresh perception. It filters every experience according to what preserves it. Anything that threatens this structure, it rejects, rationalizes, or attacks. You ask, who would I be without this? You are terrified to find out. And yet, somewhere deeper, there is a quiet longing to be something more real, more whole, more present than this collection of habits. Beneath the mask, beneath the crowd of eyes, something else exists, but you will not find it by dreaming about it. You will not reach it by reading pleasant words or repeating pretty phrases. To come closer to it, you must first see with surgical clarity the state you are actually in. You are mechanically divided. In you are three main centers, three main instruments: thinking, feeling, and moving, instinctive. Your thoughts, the intellectual center, analyze, compare, form concepts, remember, imagine. Your feelings, the emotional center, react with like, dislike, joy, sorrow, fear, hope, indignation, tenderness. Your moving instinctive center runs the body, its posture, its tensions, its automatic habits, its reflexes and impulses. In a balanced man, these three centers cooperate. They obey a conscious master. In you, they fight, interfere, steal each other's functions. The mind thinks about what should be felt. The feelings try to decide what should be thought. The body reacts before the mind or feeling even know what has happened. You may think you are intelligent because your mind is active, yet perhaps your feelings are childish and easily wounded, and your body is neglected, tense, poisoned by habits. or you may be emotionally intense, capable of deep sentiment, but your thinking is lazy and your body is driven by appetites, or your body is strong, disciplined, but your mind is rigid and your heart closed. You are lopsided. And this lopsidedness is not just uncomfortable, it is dangerous. It makes you easily manipulated, easily thrown off balance, easily enslaved by outer circumstances. The work I speak of aims at harmonizing these centers through conscious effort in daily life. Not in a monastery, not on a mountaintop, but in the very situations you already run away from. You imagine that spiritual work is something separate from ordinary existence, sitting cross-legged, chanting, reading sacred text. These may have their place, but if you wish to awaken from waking sleep, your laboratory is your everyday life, your boss, your partner, your children, your hunger, your boredom, your jealousy, your fatigue. These are your materials. Here is where you must begin. Consider a simple example. You are speaking with someone who criticizes you. Instantly, without your consent, an inner storm arises. The body tenses, the jaw tightens, heat rises in the chest, thoughts flood in. How dare they? They do not understand. I am not like that. Another voice whispers, maybe they are right. I am worthless. Feelings oscillate between anger and shame. Words form on the tongue, ready to defend, to attack, or to retreat. This all happens without you. You appear only afterward to justify what was said and done. You tell yourself a story that you were simply being honest, standing up for yourself, trying to keep peace, but the movements were already set long ago. You only watched the film and then claimed to have written it. Now imagine something different. In the very moment when the criticism begins, an inner signal sounds, watch. You do not answer immediately. You feel the body. You sense the feet on the ground, the weight of the hands, the breath moving in and out. You notice the tightening in the belly, the heat in the chest. You hear the thoughts forming, but you do not climb into them. You see the hurt feeling rising like a wave, and you let it be seen. You do not suppress it. You do not give it the steering wheel. You observe. At the same time, you are aware of the person speaking, of their face, their tone, the surroundings. It is as if two currents are present at once, the inner scene and the outer scene. Between them, something appears that is neither the automatic reaction nor the outer stimulus. It is a third thing, a quiet watcher, a small flame of presence. In that moment, you are less asleep. This is self-observation and self-remembering. Self-observation is the act of watching your inner world as impartially as possible. Thoughts, emotions, body sensations, impulses, seen as phenomena, not as I. Self-remembering adds another dimension, remembering to include yourself as the one who sees, not losing yourself entirely in what is seen. You have tasted this state accidentally, perhaps in moments of shock or danger, when suddenly everything became vivid, expanded, detached. The problem is that you cannot remain there. You fall back into identification. The mind claims the experience as mine, tells a story about it, and the state is gone. The work I speak of is the deliberate cultivation of that double awareness. You bring it into ordinary moments, walking, eating, working, speaking, waiting in line. You begin to suspect that every moment of your life can become material for awakening if you are present to it. How to begin? For now, I give you simple tasks. For one day, just one day, declare an inner experiment. You will try to observe yourself as if you were a scientist watching a strange creature whose behavior you wish to understand. You do not try to improve the creature at first. You do not try to make it better. You only watch. Every time you remember, you say internally, I notice, and you describe as neutrally as possible what is happening. I notice tension in the shoulders. I notice rapid complaining thoughts. I notice impatience. I notice the wish to check the phone. I notice pride. I notice fear. Not, I am afraid, but I notice fear. Not, I am angry, but I notice anger in the chest, heat in the face. Already with this small change, you create a distance between the watcher and the watched. You begin to separate from the automatic flow. Then add another layer. As you observe the inner, you also include the outer. You sense the body as a whole, posture, breath, and you also see the room, the objects, the people, the sky. You try to be aware of both in the same moment. You may fail 1,000 times. It does not matter. Each return is an act of remembering. Do not expect comfort. At first, this work is unpleasant. You will not like what you see. You will see how much you lie to others, but much more to yourself. You will see how rarely your thoughts are under your control. You will see how quickly your mood can be changed by a trivial event. You will see how often you eat, speak, react, not from necessity, but from inner compulsion. You have lived so long inside the flattery of your own opinions that truth will seem harsh. Good. Harsh truth is a mercy. It cuts down what has no right to live. You will discover, too, that your energy is low. It is difficult to sustain this state of observation for more than a few seconds. You are pulled back into identification again and again. You will want to conclude, this is not for me. I cannot do it. This complaint is also mechanical. It is one of the eyes. Observe it as well. Real work requires effort, not effort of tension and strain, but effort of attention. The muscles that must be trained are inner, and they are flabby from lifelong disuse. Understand, I am not offering you a comforting philosophy. I am inviting you into a disciplined inner war. In this war, your enemy is not the world, not other people, not events. Your enemy is your own sleep, your automatic reactions, your stubborn identifications, your false personality that insists, this is just who I am. To conduct this war, you must accept intentional suffering. I do not mean self-punishment. I do not speak of harming yourself in body or mind. That would only feed another set of mechanical patterns, self-hatred, guilt, martyrdom. Intentional suffering means voluntarily going against the easiest impulse when you know it keeps you asleep. It means refusing the narcotics you habitually use to escape facing yourself, endless entertainment, food without hunger, empty talking, internal complaining, fantasy. It means remaining present in discomfort, neither rushing to anesthetize it nor dramatizing it. You are insulted, you wish to retaliate, to restore your image. Instead, you remain silent for a moment and observe the burning need to defend the false self. You let the sensation burn without feeding it with speech. This is suffering, but it is conscious, chosen. You are bored. The usual reaction is to route each for distraction. Instead, for 1 minute, you simply stay with the boredom, feeling its texture in the body, its restlessness, its demands. You do nothing. You watch. This is suffering, but it gathers force for awakening. You want to indulge in a familiar complaint, to tell again the story of how life has been unfair to you. Instead, you catch the first words on the tongue and stop. Inside, you feel the craving to speak, the fear of being silent, the emptiness that appears when the story is not repeated. You bear it. This is suffering, but it cleans the inner atmosphere. Each time you accept this kind of friction, something burns. A small part of the mechanical pattern loses its hold. Tiny, almost invisible, a new capacity appears, the capacity to stay, to not be driven, to choose. At times, you may introduce deliberate shocks into your day. You are walking. Suddenly, you stop. You freeze the body, the face, the hands. For 3 seconds, you remember yourself. You feel the body standing. You sense the breath. You see the surroundings. You repeat to yourself, I am here. Then you move on. You are about to check your phone for the 100th time. You catch the impulse. You stop the hand midair. You watch the urgency in the fingers, the anxiety, the craving. You let it run its course without obeying for 10 seconds. Then, if you wish, you proceed consciously. These small stops are not games. They are cracks in the surface of habit through which another light can enter. They interrupt the continuous flow of sleep. Do this often enough with sincerity, and you will begin to taste something that cannot be described in words, a different quality of presence, a sense of inner weight, inner gravity, a feeling of being more real, more solid, even if only for a moment. Understand, you are not doing this only for yourself. You are, right now, food. Your unconscious reactions, your mechanical suffering, your mindless conflicts, all of these feed forces you cannot see. You are like a tiny cog in a vast machine you do not suspect. Your anger, your envy, your despair, your distractedness, these are not only your personal misfortunes. They contribute to patterns of energy that sustain larger processes on scales you cannot imagine. I speak in images because your mind is not yet ready for direct perception of this. But know that your state matters beyond your biography. When you remain asleep, you are used. When you begin to awaken, you disturb the arrangement. There are forces that benefit from your sleep. They whisper to you in the language of comfort, laziness, outrage, vanity. They tell you, you are fine as you are. You deserve to always feel good. You are always right. Others are the problem. Truth that hurts is abuse. Effort is oppression. When you believe them, something feeds. There are other forces, higher, more subtle, that respond when you make conscious effort, when you refuse to obey a blind impulse, when you choose sincerity over self-image, when you endure an inner struggle without fleeing, when you remember yourself in the middle of chaos. To them, such moments are precious. You are part of a drama in which the stakes are far higher than your personal comfort or success. Your awakening, if you undertake it seriously, has consequences beyond your small story. It opens a pathway for a different quality of consciousness to enter this world. For that, you must pay. What is the payment? Your illusions, your vanity, your laziness, your attachment to your own suffering, the false comfort of saying, I cannot help it, this is how I am. In exchange, you may receive something that cannot be taken away, the birth of a real I. Do not misunderstand. This real I is not a grand costume, not an inflated self-image. It is not the ego polished and renamed as higher self. It is a quiet, steady presence that can remain the same in pleasure and in pain, in praise and in blame. It is a center of gravity not built from opinions, but from direct experience of being. At present, you do not have it. You have glimpses, impressions, moods. You think, sometimes I feel truly myself. Good, these are hints, but a stable, unshakable I has not yet formed. It must be grown, crystallized through repeated acts of conscious attention and intentional suffering. Imagine a small nucleus forming at the center of your scattered being. Every time you observe rather than blindly react, a tiny particle joins this nucleus. Every time you remember yourself, even for a second, another particle. Every time you bear an unpleasant truth instead of turning away, another. Slowly, over time, this nucleus becomes dense enough to resist the mechanical tides. Then something extraordinary becomes possible. You do not merely observe the many eyes, you can begin to direct them. You can choose which impulse to obey and which to refuse. You can say, this resentment is not worthy of me, and let it die. You can say, this effort is needed, and make it even when another part screams in protest. This is not a miracle. It is the result of methodical inner labor. Where then does this labor take place? In a hidden school, behind monastery walls, in some distant retreat? If you are waiting to escape your life before you begin, you will die as you are. Your life as it is the school. Your job, your apartment, your city, your family, your loneliness, your distractions. These are the conditions in which you must work. They are not obstacles, they are the materials given to you. Work when you wake up. Before you touch any device, sit for 3 minutes. Do not try to have spiritual experiences. Simply feel your body from head to toe. Sense the contact with the bed, the ground, the air. Notice the stream of thoughts trying to carry you away. Gently return again and again to sensing. Begin the day not as a machine that has been restarted, but as a being who remembers he exists. Work when you eat. Put the device aside. Take 1 meal a day where your only task is to eat as if you have never eaten before. Smell the food. Observe the hand moving toward the mouth. Chew slower than you like. Notice the impatience. Notice the habitual fantasies that try to appear even as you chew. Stay with the simple act of nourishment. You will discover that you have not truly tasted food in years. Work when you walk. Feel the contact of the feet with the ground, the rhythm of steps, the movement of the arms. Notice how the mind wanders into plans, worries, dreams. Bring it back, not by force, but by quiet insistence to the sensation of movement. Let the body walk. You remain as the witness. Work in conversation. While speaking, keep a part of attention on yourself. Hear the tone of your own voice. Notice when you begin to exaggerate, to defend, to impress. See the impulse, but do not judge it. For now, seeing is already a great step. Work in boredom. When no stimulation presses on you and the old restlessness arises, do not immediately run. For 1 minute, stay. Observe the pull toward distraction as a force in the body. Notice the thoughts that say, this is pointless, do something, check something, watch them, this is training. You say, this is too much, I have no time. Life is already hard, why should I add more struggle? Because the struggle is already there. You are struggling all the time to maintain your image, to escape your feelings, to fill the emptiness, to control what cannot be controlled. This struggle leads nowhere. It drains you and gives nothing in return. I am asking you to redirect that force, to use your life's inherent frictions as fuel for awakening. You cannot avoid suffering, but you can choose what your suffering serves. If you serve your sleep, your suffering will be wasted, feeding only more bitterness, more confusion, more repetition. If you serve awakening, your suffering becomes sacred. It becomes the fire in which false is burnt away. Do not romanticize this. It is hard. You will fail thousands of times. You will forget, become mechanical, indulge the old habits. Then, if you are serious, you will not collapse into self-hatred. You will simply begin again. Each beginning is a small victory. There is another obstacle you must face, your imagination. You prefer dreams of transformation to real work. You picture yourself as awakened and conscious, free. You imagine how calm, wise, powerful you will be. Meanwhile, in the next ordinary irritation, you are completely lost. Fantasy about the path is the most subtle narcotic. It gives you the taste of achievement without requiring effort. It allows you to feel superior to others while remaining exactly the same. You must wage war on this inner theater. Whenever you catch yourself dreaming of future enlightenment, gently turn the energy toward present observation. Ask, what is happening in me right now? That is where the path exists, not in pictures of how you might be, but in direct awareness of how you are. So far, I have described your state, your fragmentation, the possibility of work, the role of intentional suffering, and the beginning of self-observation. Now you must hear the cost of refusing. If you continue as you are, what awaits you? Years will pass quickly, faster than you expect. The same patterns will repeat in different forms. New faces, same conflicts. New jobs, same dissatisfaction. New hobbies, same boredom. You will seek novelty, but your world will remain governed by the same small set of mechanical eyes. You will blame others. You will blame society, the system, your upbringing, your unlucky circumstances. You will occasionally blame yourself, but you will not suspect that the real prison is inside, built from identification and sleep. One day, perhaps, near the end, you will look back and feel an obscure sorrow that you were never truly there for your own life, that you were always on the verge of waking up but never did, that you were lived but did not live. If you hear these words and then go back to your usual life without changing anything, your sleep will become more painful. A part of you has been called. It will not forget. If you ignore it, it will turn against you as regret. You cannot now say you did not know. Still, I do not ask you to accept all this on faith. I ask you to verify it in yourself. Do not believe me. Observe. For 1 week, take as your hypothesis, I am more mechanical than I think. I am not one but many. Then watch. You will see evidence everywhere. You will see one decision made in the morning reversed in the afternoon, One mood dominating for an hour, replaced by its opposite the next. One strong conviction today, forgotten tomorrow. If you are honest, this will shock you. Good. Without shock, no real movement is possible. Then, for another week, take as your experiment, and every ordinary situation is a chance to remember myself. While washing dishes, waiting at a red light, listening to a colleague, lying in bed, practice sensing your body, observing your thoughts and feelings, and simultaneously being aware of the outer situation. You will fail many times, but once in a while something will align. You will find yourself both present to yourself and present to the world. In that instant, you will glimpse a different quality of being. You will know, not as an idea, but as a taste, that you have lived most of your life below your potential state. From there, the choice will deepen. You stand before a narrow doorway. On one side is your current life. Comfortable in its familiarity, even in its pain. You know its patterns. You know how to complain about them. You know how to distract yourself from its emptiness. You can continue like this until death. Millions do. On the other side is a path that leads toward awakening, not as a sudden miracle, but as a gradual, demanding transformation. This path will not make you special in the eyes of others. It may even make you appear strange because you will no longer participate so eagerly in collective illusions. It will require of you a seriousness you have rarely given anything. It will expose your vanity, your cowardice, your laziness. It will strip you of comforting lies. It will ask you again and again to choose truth over image, presence over distraction, effort over inertia. But in exchange, it offers you the possibility of becoming a real man or a real woman, someone who is not merely a product of their conditioning, but a conscious participant in existence. This path begins now, or it does not begin at all. Do not wait for the perfect conditions. Here will always be excuses. I am too busy. I am too tired. I will start when things calm down. I need more information. These are voices of sleep, not of essence. I give you, to begin, 2 precise tasks. First, self-observation throughout the day. From the moment you wake until the moment you sleep, remember as often as you can to say inwardly, I notice, and describe what is actually happening in your body, thoughts, and feelings. Do not judge, do not justify, simply see. Second, 3 conscious stops. Choose 3 moments in the day, perhaps on waking, in the middle of your work, and in the evening. Set a small reminder if needed. When the moment comes, stop whatever you are doing for 10 seconds. Freeze the body. Feel the whole of yourself. Sense your posture, your breath, the space around you. Become aware, I am here, then resume. These are small things, but if you do them sincerely every day, a crack will open in your sleep. Through that crack, something higher can begin to act in you. I will not promise you enlightenment. I will not promise you constant bliss. Those are fantasies. I offer you something stricter and more precious, the beginning of real work, the possibility of becoming responsible for your own being,